The next section is all around third-party leverage, and what I mean here is, by utilising the OTAs and the meta search platforms, all that sort of thing, as a means to increase your visibility. Because just by being anonymous doesn't mean you're holding yourself to ransom to paying high commissions on all your bookings and giving up that revenue. No, it's more about, again, increasing your online visibility. By being on those platforms, sure, you'll get some bookings through those platforms, sure, you'll pay some commissions, but you'll also get increased direct bookings, increased inquiries to your hotel, just by fact of being on the other platforms. Because we know that, so some people will go to Google, search result, and then straight away, bang, they're off to an OTA. Or some people go straight to an OTA. So it's those people there that, if we're not on them, we're not getting seen by those guys. So it's all about visibility. So there's a thing called the billboard effect. I'm not going to break it down completely now, but in the next module, which is all about increasing your online distribution, and specifically drills into the OTA factor. The billboard effect was a study that was conducted, I think initially back in 2011 or 9, and there's been a recent review of that to see whether it's still in effect. But it basically means that by being on the OTAs, you will in fact see more traffic coming to your website. You'll get an increase in bookings via the OTAs, but also an increase in bookings direct to your hotel website, simply because you're on there. The number used to be 75%, but it's now 65%. And what do I mean by that is that 65% of people who book direct with your hotel at some stage were on an OTA website. So unless you're on there, you're really diminishing your ability to get them to your direct website at some stage later. But more in that in the next module, module number 5. So, but still on this third-party leverage issue, so with the OTAs themselves, how can we optimise that listing? How can we become more visible there? So it's one thing for people to go, I'm searching for accommodation in Sydney. They end up on, say, booking.com. And then how do you be optimised there? How do you become in the top list on booking.com and be highly visible and therefore be a chance of being booked? So there's a few things you can do. Basically, I would call it an OTA ranking. So a bit like Google, a bit like TripAdvisor, there's an algorithm at play, and there's things that influence where you rank in the listings on booking.com, as an example. So first of all, popularity in itself. The more you're being booked, the more likely that booking.com or an OTA is going to be pushing you up the rankings. Reviews are highly important. So reviews specifically on the channel itself, so your booking.com reviews as the example. If you've got good reviews, lots of reviews, again, it's going to push you up the rankings. So, the practical application of that is, are you encouraging reviews? And we'll talk about that in guest engagement, but you've got to be encouraging the reviews to get those volumes up. There's a thing called content score, which you may or may not be aware of. You can actually measure yourself against your competitors, their content score. So the idea is here just to complete your profile, have good quality, high-res images, all the content complete, and they basically give you a score. And the higher your score, if you're scoring above your competitor with your content, you're going to be more likely to be pushed up the list. You can actually skip the list and actually pay to be put towards the top of the list. So you can actually elect to pay a higher commission rate. So rather than paying the standard, say 12.5% or 15%, you can say, look, I'll pay 17%. And automatically, you'll appear first, second, third, whatever it is, to actually be more chance of getting that booking. And another way is deals and promos. So you may at times be discounting rates and that. If you're struggling for a little bit of demand and you want to try and turn something on, we really encourage you, like within the OTA channels, they all have either a promotion or deal or marketing sort of end of their back end. But rather than just discounting your rates and having that flow through onto their website, that will help. But what will help more is actually doing a promotion, actually naming it something, putting the discount directly into the platform and to the back end of the OTA, and it will gain priority over the others because they can see there's actual a promotion or something different happening. So they want to put that in front of their clients. So there's a few tips there to sort of leverage off the third parties, and we really want to make those OTAs more of a working partner than this, this enemy that they seem to be portrayed as in the media all the time, certainly at the moment. But more on that in the next module.